Picture this, you book your dream trip to Excellence El Carmen in the Dominican Republic. Pristine sands, endless cocktails, and every cuisine you could possibly desire. After all, the Excellence brand sells perfection. But what if those online photos only told you half the story? Coming up in this video, I'll show you the other half of the story, sharing the good and the bad. I'll also explain why you might want to adjust your expectations before booking. Welcome to Quite Genius, and there's some things you really ought to know about this beach. So we're currently outside our Excellence Club Beachfront Honeymoon Swim Up Suite. It's building 9, suite number 9075, that you can see there roughly to the right of centre of your screen. And by the way, if you want to see a full tour of that suite, or even a full tour of the resort itself, then I've done videos for both and I'll leave the links in the description below. Now if you do book one of these beachfront suites, then the great thing is that you literally are just a stone's throw away from the beach, and they have these nice little wooden paths to get you there, so let's head down there and check it out.
So it literally is just a matter of walking down a short path and that will take you down to the beach, and the first thing that you're going to see is there are these cabanas on the beach, which are the beds that you can see. I'll show you more detail in a minute. And the little palapas there. And there's plenty of those all along the beach, but I'll show you in a moment in more detail. So all we need to do is, in fact, we'll just take a bit of a shortcut and duck under this rope. And first impressions of the beach is that it is actually very clean. The sand here is more of an earthy, rich sand. It's not like the white sands that you might find in Mexico. There's more depth of colour to it, and it's very pleasant to walk on barefoot. So just as I stepped onto the beach, I mentioned the cabanas, which you can see a long line of on the right of your screen, and the palapas just on the left. So just talking about the cabanas first of all, and if you book a suite that is in the Excellence Club, you get access to one of these cabanas whenever you want. And what you would do is you would come down in the morning or whenever, and you can just see there's a little hut with a member of staff there, and that's basically the concierge desk for you to check in. So this is for Excellence Club members only, and you would come down, give them your room number, and they would set you up on one of these cabanas, and you can choose which one is your favourite in terms of position. Now, by setting up, I basically mean that they'll come down and put towels on the bed for you, and basically ensure you get the access to the beach service, and regular intervals throughout the day you'll find that staff come down to offer you cocktails, drinks, food, whatever you want basically, and you can just relax on the cabana as they do that. So the cabana itself, it's a large bed, and like I said, the staff will come down and put towels on it for you, and the cool feature about it is that it does give you some privacy from everything else that's going on around you, and these blinds that do just that are actually fully adjustable. So if you are planning to spend the day down at the beach, you'll find obviously that the position of the sun's going to change, and you can adjust the blinds to suit to give you as much or as little shade as that you actually want. Just to the side of the cabanas, you'll see that there are a couple of tables to put your stuff down on, and for anybody that smokes, you can just see under the table there, there's a large pot full of sand, and you can use that as an ashtray. So it's fair to say that the palapas just to the right outnumber the cabanas. The cabanas are for exclusive use of the Excellence Club guests, and if you haven't got one of those rooms, then you're going to have to slum it on one of these palapas. So I'm pretty sure that isn't much of a hardship. You do get the beach service with the wait staff, and you can still order food and drinks directly to your palapa. And the only difference being really is that you won't check in at the concierge desk, you'll just pick whichever one you want. So I mentioned the concierge desk that's on the beach. Now if you're in an Excellence Club room, this is where you would come to check in, and they have complimentary drinks there for you. And you can get a cold towel, flannel, and there's complimentary sunscreen and bug spray. You've got some tissues there, and there's some books that you can borrow, and they also have games that you can play as well. So just sitting behind the concierge desk, you will see a couple of other cabanas that are different from the rest, and these ones are surrounded by little hedges, and you basically access those via the front. Now these are private cabanas that you can actually rent for the day, or you can get different pricing options. If you want to book them for multiple days, you'll get a discount as well. Everything to do with Excellence El Carmen is on their app, and all of the services and things that you can book are detailed on there. Now, when I last checked the app, there is no price currently at the moment to hire one of these cabanas. However, I do know that if you book for multiple days, you'll get a discounted rate. So what's the difference? Well, first of all, the little hedges surrounding them give them a little bit more privacy. And if we just walk up to it now, you also get a couple of lounges. And looking at the cabana itself, you'll notice that rather than blinds on the side that are adjustable, there are wooden slats that do give you some shade as well. But the bed itself is the same size. It's a big double bed. There is an ashtray there if you smoke, and within the actual cabana itself, it's a lot bigger. You actually get some storage as well. Now these aren't secure as such, and they're essentially just little cupboards to put your bags in, just to give a little bit more security, but like I said, that they don't lock or anything like that. But you also get complimentary sunscreen as well, and they also give you some mosquito spray as well. And you really are well looked after if you get one of these cabanas. We just walk down to the actual shoreline. The other thing that you're going to notice pretty much straight away with the beach is, unfortunately, there has been quite a lot of erosion, and I'm not sure whether this was purely down to the erosion or some other factor, but essentially the beach is almost like in two levels. So where I'm standing at the moment, if I wanted to get down to the water, I would need to walk down quite a steep slope, and perhaps the camera doesn't quite pick it up, but you have all of the lounges here that you can see, and the cabanas just behind. That's where I've just come from, but I'm just needing to walk down quite a steep slope now to get to the water. And just as I do that, you can see just the scale of the erosion here. And there's quite a few of the palm trees on the beach where you can see all of the roots are exposed. And just to give you an idea, and it's the same in the distance there. Now I'm guessing by this point that you will have noticed the seaweed. Now, this certainly over the duration of our trip has become quite a bit of a problem, and yesterday we came down to the beach, and to be fair, I think yesterday was actually worse, and it was well into mid-morning by the time they even started to clear it. So why is this a problem? Well, without sort of stating the obvious, to walk over it, it's extremely unpleasant, and I actually thought that it would be possible just to walk over it so I could go into the sea and have a bit of a dip. And whilst that is true, you can sort of walk over it, it's very unpleasant to do it, you can actually get down to the water. So what I didn't realise is that even if I climb over the seaweed to get into the water, it's still constantly being dumped onto the on the beachfront, and it's not just the case that you can ignore it and just go into the water anyway, because it's just getting seaweed all over your feet and tangled up around your legs. It's not ideal, and I would say, ow, I would say that it is not good to swim in at all. And I'm going to get out before I stand on something else that makes me go, ow. Yeah, not ideal. So just as I've been filming this morning, I mentioned that it took them a considerable amount of time, yesterday at least, to come and clear the seaweed. However, this morning it's currently 7:30 and the tractor's already out, and there's a lot of staff on the beach doing their best to clear the seaweed. So the assessment from this morning, the assessment from yesterday morning might not have been a true reflection. Maybe they were just having an off day when they didn't come down until way later in the morning. But this morning at least, 7:30, they're making every effort to get that cleaned up. And I don't know whether you can see or not, I'll just film through those two palm trees there. That mound of seaweed is quite substantial. But to be fair to them, they are clearing it up now, which is really nice to see.
So I do hope you found that information useful. Clearly the staff here are doing their very best to deal with these problems, but they are battling Mother Nature, and ultimately there's only going to be one winner there. Now, you can check out this playlist here for a full resort tour of Excellence El Carmen. I've also done a suite tour as well. Plus, be sure to subscribe to Quite Genius so you don't miss the final video in this mini-series, where I'll be giving you a full review of this resort. Spoiler alert, it's quite brutal. In the meantime though, thanks for watching and for all of the support so far, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.